or we say what? Look at that yellow field over here. This is Tel Hazor, also part of that. This is the lower town, more than 700 dunams, okay? And in the 50s they started to excavate over here. Yigal Yadin and his people, they opened a few corners, okay, they marked few squares on the ground and excavated. Whenever they dug, they found the town. So their assumption is that the town is all over the 700 dunams, even though it wasn't really checked, okay? But this is their idea. So we have a 700 dunam of the lower town down there, and we are here in the upper town, another 120, 140, 120 or 40 dunams of the upper town, okay? Most of the site is the lower town, and we don't walk over there. Right now there's not much for us to see there, and it's not part of the park here. So this is outside, but we are here on the upper part of town in the Acropolis, where the palaces are, the temples are. From here they administrated the town. Okay, so this is for us kind of the more important things that of Tel Hazor. Now the first time it was identified, 1876, by a guy named Porter. He called Tel Wakats or Tel Kadach. It's so large that it has two different names, okay, on different corners. He identified it as Tel Hazor or as biblical Hazor.
At what time?
Porter.
At what time?
1876. Okay.
Name?
Porter. And 50 years passed, and Gerstang was a British guy. Now we are mandatory time, 1926, and Gerstang was the head of the Department of Antiquities of the mandatorial authorities in Israel, and he excavated over here, and he referred to the town as the upper town. From here was the town itself. And down there, he called it the campground. He understood that it relates to the town in a certain way, but he took it to the place where probably they have horses shades or, livestock, whatever, farming maybe. This is not really part of the residential area, but he saw it as part of the complex, okay? And then in 1955, we are with the famous expedition of Yigal Yadin. For 3 years, 55 to 58, and they came with the main discoveries of the town. For example, the gates, today we call them Solomon Gates, the water system later on, the temples, the European palace, as we call it today, fortifications, temples. They found a lot of discoveries and gave us the main story of the site. Their discoveries today are in a small museum at Kibbutz Ayelet HaShachar. It's one space, one room, and everything there, it's like in the old times with some vitrines, glasses, but it's unique. The findings are excellent, and if you're not going to take people, do yourself a favor and go once to see it. We don't do it on the tour on the tour day, but for you, there's two guys in Israel to see what they found over there, because there's nothing like it in Israel, not even in the Israeli museum. So you must be able to see it. Anyway, it's over there, 55 to 58. Another two short seasons in 68, 69, when they excavated the water system. And then there was a break, and in 1991, a Professor Amnon Ben-Tor started to excavate over here, and he's still here, even though he's aging, and right now he's in a way in a process of transferring the sites to younger hands, because he's over 80, much over 80.
What did he do?
He excavated over here from 91 till today, more than 30 years. Like the main excavation actually is of Professor Amnon Ben-Tor in the last 35 years. He had some...
Amnon
Ben-Tor, yeah. He was a student here with Yigal Yadin in the 50s, and later on he became the head of the expeditions over here. He had partners during the year. He doesn't do it alone, but he is a main figure, the dominant figure over here, and most of the writing and the articles and whatever comes under his name. Okay, so we said all that. two major questions that come here that we have to keep in mind when you come to Tel Hazor. First, one had to do with the conquest of the land. Who conquered the land of Israel? So the Bible tells us very clearly, it's the people of Israel that crossed the Jordan River under the leadership of one Joshua bin Nun, and they conquered the land as, in a way, one army, one body, moving from north to south, from south to north. Okay, this is what the biblical description, as we get it. Okay. If this is not the case, what are the alternatives? Who else could conquer the land? Okay. There is a body called the Sea People. Okay, Goyei Hayam. The Philistines were one of the group of these sea peoples that came to this area more or less in the same time. We are talking about the end of the 13th century or so, BC. Okay. And we know that there was a great ancient town in western Syria called Ugarit, Canaanite town, and late Bronze Age. And they saw these sea people are coming with a boat and they are sending SOS calls to whoever could help them, and then the line broke down and there was no more SMS, okay? And we understand that the sea people conquered the place and destroyed it, and they found these ruins of this conquest in western Syria, and in the last 100 years they excavate over there, okay, plenty. So maybe the sea people that landed at western Syria to the north of us, and then on the way down to Egypt, because they know that they fought one of the pharaohs near the delta of the Nile, so maybe on their way down they washed through Israel and destroyed some sites over here too. It's an option, okay? What I'm trying to say, we cannot be positive 100% right now who actually conquers the place. Say we have the biblical descriptions, okay? If you want to be more skeptic, you need more proof than that. We have a layer of destruction over here, okay? Layer of ash, and it is written in the Bible that Joshua set the town on fire, killed all the people and set the town on fire. So that in a way gave us good, I should say kind of a proof, but they didn't find, for example, weapons over here that will also give us an idea that there was a war going on over here and it was destroyed by a war. For example, one of the persons that excavated over here, a woman named Sharon Zuckerman, Dr. Sharon Zuckerman, she died in very young, 49 years old. She had cancer, and she was excavating down there together with Amnon Bento. They were cooperating, and she found over there, wherever she excavated, she found houses, but they were not ruined. There was mass destructions over here, big layer of ash. Down there was nothing. And you say, how come? If someone conquers the town, and most of the people actually live down there, and we hear that Joshua killed all the people, there must be some destruction over there. Nothing. Complete. Like the people packed their stuff and went to the port of Haifa and sailed away. Okay? So she gave an idea that maybe it was kind of a peasant mutiny, rebellion. Okay? That Flebe is like the poor people, the simple people, rebelled against the aristocracy over here, or the ruler of the town, set their palaces on fire, and left the place. An idea, okay? So what I'm trying to say, there's all kind of theories over here about who conquered it, how it was conquered, about outsider, maybe it was an inner revolution. Keep your mind open, okay? I'm not trying to tell you what I think about it. Keep your mind open because it's interesting. Okay, so this is one question to deal with, the conquest of the place. By the way, Amnon Bento himself, he developed in his awareness or understanding of the place. A few years ago, he wrote that the identity of the people who destroy the destroyer of Tel Hazor is unknown. Later on, it says something more tricky, that people that actually destroy Tel Hazor later on turns to be the people of Israel. like all kind of tribes that hanging around, later on merged together into the unity of Israel. Today he says that it was the Israeli people that actually did it. Yeah, so there is a development. People can change their mind. It's okay, but okay. He can also tell you 20 years ago I knew less. Now I know more. Okay, fair enough. So, but what I'm trying to say is that there is a question mark over there, and people are also maybe changing their minds. But since he is the one that actually is excavating the place and know it the best, so we give him the credit that he knows better than us. Okay, second question to deal with after we dealt with the conquest is about how they call it, the missing 10th century. What do we mean by that? When you read the Bible one more time, we have a beautiful descriptions of the empire of kingdom of David and Solomon.
The missing what?
10th century.
Okay, David conquered a lot, and Solomon later on strengthened it and administrated here and built a lot, the palaces in Jerusalem and fortifications, whatever. Okay, now after 100 years of excavations in the land of Israel, we don't actually find so much David and Solomon on the ground. In Jerusalem we have more, but up here in the north, okay? And the question is, if they build such a nice kingdom, where are the ruins? Where is the archaeological evidence to that kingdom, okay? We don't have much. So you can say we didn't dig enough. Fair enough. Maybe we'll dig more, we'll find, okay? But what we do find when we do excavate in Israelite site of the 10th century, 9th century, 8th century, 7th century, we find a lot of the kingdom of Israel. You're familiar with the term of Judah and Israel? They were one body under the rules of David and Solomon and Rehoboam, okay? And then they split into two different kingdoms. Judah around the hills of Judah near Jerusalem, okay, Hebron, and to the north is Israel from Ramallah, let's say all the way up here. Israel was 3 times larger than Judah and had 3 times more people than Judah, and it was more mixed. In Judah it's all about Israelite people. Over here you had also Canaanite people, maybe some Greek people on the shoreline in the port towns. It was more kind of mixed, okay? Now the important kings of the kingdom of Israel is of the 9th century, okay? The dynasty of Omri. And the famous name is Ahab. I mentioned him on the bus. Ahab, we are in the midst of the 9th century from, let's say, 875 till 852 when he was killed in the battlefield. He ruled about 22 years, okay? And we find a lot of Ahab in the north, in Tel Dan, in Tel Hazor, in Tel Kinrot, near the Sea of Galilee, in Tel Megiddo, in Tel Israel. Wherever you go in the northern part of the land, the valleys of the north, or the hills, okay? The Israelite side, you're going to find Ahab. Not always you're going to find Solomon, the 10th century, okay? So there's a question here about what the description we get from the Bible and what we found on the ground. And like I said, the archaeologists called it the missing 10th century. Where is the 10th century? We don't find it in the ground. Where is it? Okay, over here we have 10th century. So Professor Amnon Mentor says the 10th century I found over here, this is Solomon Town, okay? And these are Solomon Gates, okay? Some other people of the University of Tel Aviv will say, hey, we are not sure it's Solomon, maybe it's Ahab Gate. But, in any case, I want to show you this. Look, guys. If this is Ahab Gate,